Board of Commissioners General Session. Today is November 26, 2024. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crawley. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and it's being recorded. For those of you who are calling in, please ensure that your line is muted. Let's see. Before we get on to our regular agenda, we do have a few special guests with us here today. A Small Business Saturday is recognized across the country as Saturday, November 30th, 2024. There's something else that's happening on Saturday, November 30th, 2024, around noon, but we won't get into that right this second. But now more than ever, small businesses need support. I know this for sure because I'm a small business owner. This day offers a chance to celebrate small businesses' vital role in our communities, from creating jobs and driving economic growth to fostering community connections and building generational wealth. We encourage everyone to support small businesses by shopping locally on this Saturday. Joining us to discuss the importance of supporting small businesses in the county-supported Ready to Work program is Yogi Terrell, who's the CEO of Columbus Fashion Alliance. Yogi, I want to have you come up to the podium, and thank you so much for joining us. And you're starting to be the face of just all things Columbus, you know. You just do so much, but please, thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing us to come in and visit you guys. We just really wanted to stop by to say thank you and to give you an update on the Ready to Work program. In light of like small business support, we started this program and came to you all a while back about a program that was going to help us create economic opportunity in Columbus through fashion and allowing for both leadership and training and small business and small entrepreneurs to be able to find an opportunity to level up. And that was a Ready to Work program. And so we just wanted to come by to give you guys a few updates. In just this short amount of time, we've been able to see some really good progress in the program. We launched our own store called Gallery, which some of you have been to and got to see, you know, the level of, I saw you laughing, Erica. But
I'm shocked that she hasn't been there. That's like her kind of place.
It is.
Yeah. It's a really dope space, and it gives brands of color a chance to have their own space. We help them a lot with marketing, with staffing, with outreach, with visual merchandising, and all of that. And so since the program has launched, we've saw some great success, and I just want to share a couple of those updates with you all. So on the brand participant side, we're not just creating retail workers of the future. We're trying to create retail leadership. You know, key holders, people who are going to come into jobs and be able to be a manager out of day one. And so some of those, we've gotten placements throughout Short North and in other small boutiques, but some notable ones, a young man named Christian Dowdy, who's been in our programming since the Future Fashion program. He recently got a job at Saks. And as a style consultant at Saks, he's really excited about that opportunity there too as well. But then also brought one of our other participants to share a little bit about what he's experienced since being in the program. Bree?
Hello, my name is Tabri Yemi. I am a young creative. I am a creative director, musician, model, fashion designer, and I now work at Gucci, thanks to Columbus Fashion Alliance. And
Did
it's
you bring
really
any
given
samples?
me. One more time?
Did you bring any samples for us?
No, not yet.
Oh man, you didn't tell him, Yogi. If you work at Gucci, you got to bring samples.
Next time.
All right.
Yeah. But no, the program has really given me the opportunity to like showcase my skills, to learn a lot, to like bring my own personal business together, and it's been a great experience just like meeting the people that I have, because I did not go to college, so this definitely gave me a great opportunity to walk through some doors that I feel like would have been a lot more difficult for me to do without this program. I definitely want to give my thanks to you guys and to Columbus Fashion Alliance as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I should have told him to bring the Gucci samples, bro. Sorry about that. But
Keychain or something, I don't know.
So, that's from the participant level, but then also we have brands as well too. So a lot of the brands that come into the space, this is their first time being in a brick and mortar space. And so as the participants go through their own programming, the brands also go through their own programming. So just in the past 8 months, we've been able to help those brands get situated. They've made tens of thousands of dollars so far in just 8 months, but they've also been able to learn about wholesale and retail. So we even took some of the brands to Las Vegas for the Magic Show, which is the biggest retail trade show in the country. And they actually got to learn from their leadership on how to show up. And we're going to go back to Magic and have our own booth for these brands to be able to pitch to buyers. And so we're also helping them. And so we have some really great brands in there. And one of the brands is called Sparrow. It's owned by a young man named Devin, who is a graduate of Ohio State. His brand has been blowing up. He was one of the brands we took out there. They're seeing success on the brand level, but then also that's opened up some other doors for some of those brands as well too. And so to help share a little bit more about that, I brought Kat DePizzo with me. Kat.
Hi guys, I'm Kat DePizzo. Thanks for having me. I don't work for Gucci, so sorry. I'm the president of the brand Justice, the girls brand. We're based here out of Columbus, Ohio. I'm also a very proud member of the board at CFA, and I hired Devin straight out of this program. Devin is an exceptional individual. But not only that, this program, what it's allowing to do, this industry is so important to the city. It's so important. And having been in this industry for 20-some years, it was really hard to get my foot in the door. I didn't go to a super fancy school. I didn't have all the things. And this program is allowing that. It's creating and breaking down those pillars and those silos and allowing us to bring in students. And I got to be honest, many of these students have more experience and are more prepared than some of the kids coming out of college. So I'm changing how I'm looking at who I'm hiring. I have my eyes on everybody. My requirements for who I hire has changed. I'm a big fan. Yeah, it's very cool.
That's good.
Yeah. So, thank you.
I was going to say some comments, but if you got additional.
No, that was pretty much it. Basically, I just wanted to come in and say thank you. You guys bet on us, and that bet has created another wave of impact and another ripple impact. And, Kevin, at the last meeting, you had said that you saw us and you saw what we're trying to do. We're really looking at building economic opportunity in the city, building a new economy through this lens of fashion, and it's working. And so without your support, we wouldn't be able to try these new things. And it's so hard for innovators and emerging, leaders to be able to get the resources and the gas they need to try new things and to do those. So you guys gave us that. So we just wanted to say, as you're going out and you're getting ready to eat your turkey and all that type of stuff, just know that we're all thankful for you all at Franklin County. And thank you to the Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. D'Amica, you've been a great partner to us. And so we're going to keep on pushing, but just wanted to tell you guys thanks.
Before hold on. We'll give them some couple things. One, thank you for what you represent. I mean, incubating small businesses into businesses that can deliver a product or service is not easy. Most of you probably have seen where the feds have cut interest rates, and they're projecting another interest rate before the end of the year, which is wild. That's a 100 basis point drop. Then they're talking about 2 more additional cuts next year, maybe 3. That's a sign of inflation. That's a sign of our economy contracting and going back and forth, and its instability. What is a fact about what our recovery, what is going to be the underlying component of our recovery, is the development and growth of small businesses. That is the heartbeat and the foundation of all growth. That is a fact. That is not me just projecting. That is an economic fact. And so when we incubate, whether it's fashion-oriented businesses or other types of businesses, this is an investment into the economy. And I appreciate, Yogi, you're I think, a phenomenal leader in so many ways, and you do a great job. But this is really a strategic investment for Franklin County to create jobs, grow business owners. And I had the opportunity to come and visit the gallery, I don't know, a month or 2 back, something like that. And every last one of the businesses that were there represented, to me, represented not just a business mind. You know, again, as a small business owner, I know what it takes mentally to jump out there and start a business. I know what it requires of you personally, financially, but moreover, the discipline and focus that it takes to be a business owner, and then to have a facility that encourages that, supports that, and makes it a little bit easier. I mean, it's all about sharing resources at the front end of that business. It's all about exchanging creativity, exchanging ideas, and I think the gallery does represent that in a very creative way. But again, you know, it's I take it very seriously. It's not a project that's nice. We have these creative things going. It's really about job creation. It's really about growing small businesses so that what is the lifeline of growth, that we are fueling into that each and every day, and that's what the gallery represents, and all of you represent. And so I want to thank you for your leadership, thank you for your investment in Franklin County, and we'll continue to be partners in the journey.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much.
I know Commissioner Crawley's probably going to add something.
Yeah, thank you, President Boyce. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Yogi, for your leadership, for your vision in this space. I love the program. I know that outside of helping young entrepreneurs start their business, if people want to get into like marketing and merchandise, retailing, all those things, sewing, all of those opportunities are available, and then how to market and brand their business, and then you give them exposure. But what I love about this board, and I say it all the time, I brag on us, our commissioners as well as administration, is that we provide opportunities. And I always say at the back of the room, it should be service, progress, excellence, and opportunity, because the funding that we provide you gives you the opportunity to have your dreams be realized, but others as well, right, in this space. And as Commissioner Boyce said, small businesses is the engine of our economy. It keeps it going and growing. And as someone who owned a small e-commerce fashion business prior to moving to Columbus, I know what it takes to try to succeed and not turning a profit for a while. And my business did not, with my best friend, Melanie Lewis, wasn't successful, but it wasn't for, us trying. It's just a lot of things go into this that you don't know and don't realize. And without a mentor or someone like holding your hand through this process, it's hard to, and I'm sure there are statistics out there on how many startup, and then how many fail, and then how many times it takes to keep going to be successful, right? I know it's hard. And so I love being able to support this program. I love hearing your story and how it's made a difference for you. Everybody doesn't go to college. Everybody doesn't want to. Everybody who doesn't succeed at that. But there's also alternatives and paths to be successful and move up the economic ladder, and that's what this Ready to Work program does. And so I will be over to the gallery. I've seen some things with my name on it. So I'm going to come over there for sure in the near future. So, but thank you for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you as well. And if you ever want to get back into it, we got you covered.
Well,
we got all the programming
fashion,
for you.
so it's funny you said that. Real quick, yesterday I was talking with a group of people, and I was saying how I am a extreme introvert, and people do not believe that. And they said, I would not be able to tell that you are an introvert, but maybe it's your clothes that you wear that speak for you, because what you wear, it shows your personality. And I was like, that is exactly what I want to translate. Like what I wear and how I show up is a form of self-expression, right? And so I believe that, whether it's my nails or what I wear speaks for me at times when I can't find my voice. And so, but I know that that's a lot of people too. So thank you. And yes, we will be talking about how I can, I always need another side income, need a side business.
Thank you so much.
DC Bivens.
Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator. I haven't been to the gallery, so can you just let us and the public
Yes.
know where it is?
Oh, yes. So it's 1241 North High Street. It's right by the corner of 5th and High. You guys know the famous pawn shop that's been on High Street right over there, out of the closet. It's right next door to that. So, come on by. We're open Thursday through Sunday. We have great brands there, all brands of color, from home goods to candles to jewelry to clothing. And we have some pieces there, too, for you guys. So, welcome. The hours are typically what, Breeze, what, 12 to 7?
12 to 6.
12 to 6, 12 to 6, yep. We're going to expand our hours in the upcoming year to Tuesday to Sunday too as well. And we'll have longer hours as well. So we got you.
Yeah, and with the holidays coming up, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah, we
gonna
have
be some-
Black Friday sales going on. I mean, I might as well go tell it.
Yeah,
We got Black
absolutely.
Friday sales going on. We have new launches. We got Made to Grow's doing something. Our youth brand's doing something there. So all the brands are dropping new stuff. So yes, Black Friday, come on out. We got gifts and all that type of stuff for you guys.
Outstanding.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate you all the commissioners, the administrators, Ken, everybody, D'Amica. Thank you guys, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you. Okay, moving right along, with the mission to engage, inspire, and transform lives and communities by being a leader in science, COSI continues to make an impact through its Color of Science initiative. This inspiring program ignites curiosity and promotes science literacy by showcasing stories of extraordinary individuals whose contributions have shaped our world. By offering signature programming that emphasizes inclusivity, diversity, equity, and accessibility, COSI reinforces the powerful message that science is for everyone, inspiring learners of all ages to explore and embrace science. Please join me in welcoming Curtis Brown, Community Partnerships Administrator, who will introduce our special guest from COSI, Justin Kershaw, founder of So Strong Food, Charles Hill, Senior Director of Diversity and Equity at COSI, and that's it. All right.
Good morning, Commissioners, County
morning.
Administration. Today, we're here to learn about a unique initiative, the Color of Science. This incredible program is dedicated to highlighting the stories and contributions of scientists from diverse backgrounds, specifically those who have historically been overlooked, but whose discoveries and innovations have shaped our world. To share more about the program, please welcome from COSI, Charles Hill, the Senior Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners Crawley, Boyce, and O'Grady, Deputy Administrator Bivens, Jones, and Administrator Wilson. My name is Charles Hill, Senior Director of Community Engagement and Chief Diversity Officer at your COSI. At COSI, we believe that science is everywhere and for everyone. I'm happy to talk to you today about a program, one of COSI's key programs called the Color of Science. We strive to create and maintain comfortable, safe, and a positive learning environment, regardless of your financial status, gender expression, physical, social, or emotional ability. COSI provides and engages STEAM opportunities to inspire curiosity that awakens the world around us and activates innovative ways to collaboratively transform our communities. We recognize the importance of diversity in STEAM fields and how our museum is uniquely positioned to engage, inspire, and transform lives and communities of all backgrounds. Grounded in a firm belief that modern science centers should promote and showcase the diversity, talent that exists within our scientific arena, COSI has launched the Color of Science program. This highlights the vast scientific contributions of underrepresented groups in our county. The Color of Science is a comprehensive science interest and literacy initiative that invites the public to engage in stories of remarkable individuals who have impacted our science and society through our scientific work and their achievements. The Color of Science invites the public to engage in remarkable STEAM professionals, including women, African Americans, Latino, Hispanic Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, Native Heritage Americans, members of the LGBTQ+ community, and persons with disabilities. The Color of Science consists of two major components. One includes a panel interview that we have in the fall with local scientists, engineers, and STEAM entrepreneurs with compelling stories, and one in the spring, which focuses on the passport science for local students in our community. That promotes that science truly is everywhere and for everyone. Today, I brought along with me one of our featured panelists from this year's program, who was just held a few weeks ago with over 200 people in attendance, Mr. Justin Kershaw. He is a former athlete turned entrepreneur and founder of So Strong Food, a company dedicated to providing quality taste, healthy, high-quality snacks aims at helping healthy families lead longer and healthier lives. Inspired by his personal journey as a father of 5 daughters, Justin launched So Strong Food to address the growing concerns over nutrition and its impact and longevity. Justin?
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, you can move that up if you want to, those buttons.
Sorry, I don't my vegetables. Sorry, Charles, genetics. Thank you, community leaders, and thank you for COSI for asking me to be here today. It's a privilege to be here this morning. My name is Justin Kershaw. My claim to fame, as Charles said, is I have 5 beautiful daughters, a lovely wife who works at Children's Hospital in the PICU. I'm also the owner of So Strong Food, a company that's dedicated to extending the life expectancy of everybody in Columbus, Ohio. We make the best tasting, healthiest snacks on the planet. Commissioner Boyce, sorry I didn't bring any samples. We also have a Black Friday sale on Friday, thank you. Our family has been very blessed. Our kids go to a school where teachers care about them. They can walk freely and safely around our neighborhood, and we have plenty of food in our refrigerator. What concerns me as a parent and what I find myself wrestling against are distractions. Distractions that tell my girls that they're supposed to be consumers rather than creators. Distractions that tell them to embrace leisure instead of hard work. And distractions that says success is for themselves and not for the greater good over the community. Over the past few years, I've found that COSI is the antidote to these distractions. It's a place where my kids can go and interactively learn science away from a screen, and they can actually see scientific excellence in motion. 2 weeks ago, I had the honor of speaking at COSI at the Color of Science event along with Dr. Melita Moore and U.S. Navy Captain Murray. During the event, Dr. B, who's the president of COSI, made it clear that being a scientist does not necessarily mean you wear a lab coat and you're mixing chemicals. He went on to tell the audience that science is everywhere. It's in the music we listen to, the food that we eat, and the things that we read. Simply put, we are all scientists around here. I love the science of fashion, which I need to work on. We all use our passions, and with hard work and creativity, we can not only make a living, but we can make a huge impact on our community. It's my recommendation that the Color of Science continues to be funded, perhaps even double what it got last year. I say this because it's made an incredible impact on my life, on the impact of my kids, and I look forward to being more involved with COSI, and thank you for all that you do.
As you can see, science is truly everywhere for everyone, and thank you for having us out today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for everything that COSI does. I mean, COSI is just a tremendous institution, and it goes back, I'm not sure the age of COSI, but
60 years.
60 years, okay. Well, I'm 53, and that means, and my entire childhood I spent going to COSI. For those of you from Columbus, you remember the big fire engine on Broad Street. And it was always an experience if you were at Columbus City Schools, that one time a year where you got to go and explore and sort of learn about science in a fun way, where you didn't have the pressures of performance on a test behind you, but you could just experience it and it could intrigue you. I'm really grateful, Justin, for the connection to food, you know, because my wife, who happens to be a congresswoman, she talks about the need for legislation to better evaluate what we put in foods, in American foods, and look at harmful chemicals and things. And so, but we've gotten more into the conversation and review, and it's so difficult to find the exclusion of so many things embedded in our food. And so the science of food is such a real thing. And I think the conversation is going to, I expect to pick up more over the next couple of years, and we can all do better. And I hope that, I don't know what your products are like. I'm going to go check it out personally. But I hope that to the county administration, we're exploring the sale of things like that, from our vending machines to our cafeteria. We really just need to be a little more thoughtful, at the very least, to give people options, that if you really want to eat whole foods and eat well, that you have that option, and it's not just a quick snack. And so, so thank you so much. Thank you again for partnering with COSI. Charles, my very good friend, I'll go way back, and I'd love to see, I'm glad you're there, because this is also an opportunity to really take a deeper dive into diversity and inclusion in STEM fields. You know, that's a lot of, we can do a lot more in that engagement. So I'm really glad to see you over there with Dr. Bertley and crew. And Curtis, thank you for making this a priority on our agenda. So, anybody else comments? Did you say Bivens?
Do you have the kits with you? The
kits, science kits?
science kits with you?
Yeah, I think
And what
my-
is inside of the kits?
My colleague, Stephen White's going to talk about that, I think, a little bit later
Oh,
as he
okay.
comes up. So he
Okay,
has some
good.
of those there, and he'll run through them.
Okay, good,
For
good,
sure.
good, good, thank you.
Great question.
I don't think so.
I don't know if Commissioner Crowley has anything.
No.
Commissioner Brady?
Well, first of all, we appreciate COSI always being here. COSI is a leader in our community in so many ways, and Dr. Bertley is the leader in our community in almost everything he gets involved in. You know, the United States is a leader in so many areas and so many categories in almost everything that we do. But one of the areas that the United States is not a leader in is nutrition. You know, we lag behind most of the rest of the developed world in the area of nutrition. So Justin, Mr. Kershaw, we appreciate you being here today with your healthy food initiative, your healthy snacks. And by the way, I have 7 sisters, so you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But this is an area that, you know, one of the areas that we lag. There are so many developed countries around the world that do so much more than we do in the area of healthy foods and healthy nutrition. And so it's so good that you are in this field and in this space, and we appreciate the work that you're doing. The mass production of unhealthy foods and unhealthy snacks in this country is someplace, you know, it's a space that we lag behind countries like Japan and France and most of Europe. We were very recently in Denmark, and Denmark is one of the leaders in the world in the food space and in production and sustainability, and so and it shows in the health of our residents, and we see it every day here in the United States, and so appreciate the work that you're doing. Thank you.
And Commissioner O'Grady, if I could add just one last thing, we're so impressed by Justin, we're inviting him out to our spring events for the kids. And so when we have our youth, middle school and high school students, he's gonna be doing a little activation to get the kids exposed to healthy nutrition.
Great.
Outstanding.
If I can just
Oh,
add,
Commissioner
thank you, President Boyce. Commissioner O'Grady triggered something for me. I would love, and thank you for always being here. You know, I love COSI, and I know we'll talk about the lunch boxes, which are my ultimate fave. And thank you, Justin, for being here as well. I would love if Urban Roots, the county's Urban Roots program, which is a program about agriculture. They work with middle school and high school students to learn about all things ag. So they do urban gardens, they do hydroponics, literally agribusiness, technology, they do all the things, but I don't know that they see themselves as scientists, right? And I would love and that's with the county funding it through Ohio State University, the Extension, as well as the College of Food and Agricultural Environmental Sciences. But this is where, you know, us as commissioners are always looking to streamline programs and for partnerships. I think this would be a great partnership. It's a year-round program, but especially in the summertime, they have a week-long on-campus, residential program where they have things all throughout the week at different places, but they get to stay on campus, and Ohio State students get to be teachers and trainers as well. But during the school year, they work with science teachers, and then they're in the classrooms. And so I just think that this would be an opportunity for partnership. Curtis it works with Urban Roots program and can give you some more information about it.
Okay, yeah, no, I appreciate that heads up for sure. I'll definitely work with Curtis and if we can bridge the gap and get them involved in our color science.
Especially when it comes to growing nutritious foods and things like, I just think that it would be a phenomenal partnership. Thank you.
President Boyce. President Boyce.
Yes. Did you say Long?
Commissioners, Deputy Administrator Chris Long. I just wanted to, from a holistic approach in the investment on the commissioners as well, coupled with the investment in nonprofit partners like COSI, your investment here in our building with Cafe Overlook, Scratch Kitchen, and training workforce for vegan, vegetarian options and other options as well, but from scratch. And that matters for our staff, for visitors, but also the investment into the community as well. And I just wanted to note that investment by the three of you for that purpose.
Thank you.
President Boyce, if I may.
Please, Administrator Wilson.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Commissioner Crawley's comment just triggered a thought in my mind about agriculture truly being science. I go back to the works of George Washington Carver and all of the patents that he had during my trip to Tuskegee during our civil rights journey. And it is definitely a linkage that we need to expose our children to, and we can't do it enough. The legacy and the history and the tie between science. We have Central State just down the road in the HBCU, and the land-grant college legacy with Ohio State even. You have the Ohio State University, one of the land-grant colleges that are rooted in agriculture. I had the privilege of being in a minority apprenticeship program at Michigan State University through its College of Agriculture, and it gave me a head start on my journey as an undergraduate student at Michigan State. So I know the impact that it can have upon you. So thank you.
Mr. Kearsar's an alumni of Michigan State.
Go green.
Go
Yeah.
Mike.
I'll say that too.
Yeah, I don't, you guys need to put something in your food. How dare you mention Michigan on this day, you know. Forget this legislation. We're not doing anything with you guys today.
All right.
Thought you understood that. But, well, no, again, thanks, guys, for coming down. Thanks for what you represent, and look forward to continuing the relationship.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna keep moving here. Before
Thank you.
we get started in our regular, I just want to take a personal point of privilege to, just for a minute, talk about, we had the opportunity to convene, the Franklin County convene a Soul Talk discussion to address men's mental health, and convened with partnership of the City of Grace Church and Pastor Michael Young, a conversation about access to mental health resources for men, and really setting the stage for a deeper dive conversation about breaking down the barriers to the stigma that goes with accessing mental health. And I was shocked that when I showed up, there were over 500 attendees. 500 attendees, and the Soul Talks are leading up to our summit early in the first part of next year. And so we're going to do a series, but DCA Bivens stopped me in the hallway earlier today and just said that the feedback that we've gotten has been tremendous, and I would agree. And I share that because there were so many people who put so much work into doing the first Soul Talk. And one of the things that, and I know Commissioner Crawley and O'Grady agree with me on this, one of the things that we don't often get a chance to do is recognize the talent that we have here at Franklin County to carry out these events. I know from Coffee with the Commissioner, and O'Grady is constantly out and about in the community in a variety of ways. What we don't often get to say is how talented of a staff that we have and how folks work so hard. And I had the opportunity, DCA Bivens, to recognize everybody at the event who were a part of it, David, Aaron, all those guys who did just a tremendous job, worked so hard on it. But I failed to mention Malcolm. And Malcolm, who's in the back of the room back there, just has added so much of an element to our organization, to the county, that I just wanted to take a minute to publicly recognize and apologize for failing to mention you at the event last week. But thank you for what you do, what you see on our social media, what you see with some of our events, and the whole team back there. Quite frankly, public relations has gone up several notches over the last year or so. All of you, Isabel, Robin, and I hope I don't forget anybody. I just get in trouble for naming people, but everybody, they do a tremendous job for us, and our folks are great. But 500 people to show up to that event on a Thursday night, and it was a Steelers-Browns game, and people were there.
Oh, yeah.
I was at the game.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, and Commissioner Crawley just whispered she was sorry she missed because she had something to do. You've been a great voice for mental health. I got to tell you, you have been, because you've been outspoken about it, you've been vulnerable about it, and you've been very encouraging about it. And just like with Commissioner Grady, he's very, all of those things when it comes to your actual health, like your physical health. You've been that way with mental health. And this conversation with men is a different cultural engagement and discussion. And so we're gonna take it up a notch because I just can't believe the reaction that we got. You know, I was thinking, hey, if we get 100 people out, we'll be able to really, we had this fabulous panel. And so if we get 100 people out and we touch one person, we will have moved that needle in a way. And I just was blown away when I pulled in and you couldn't even get into the parking lot. Couldn't even get into the parking lot. And then I came out to the room and it was standing room, you know, I mean, not standing room only, but it was, all the seats were full and there were people just in the back, and we had an overflow room, but it was full, and it was just, it was crazy, but what it said more than anything else is the need to create a safe environment for men to engage the kind of resources. And so if you are a male and you're listening, and by the way, I add too, there were probably 150 women there, I'd say, maybe, and because we are directing the conversation at men, it is as much about the role and partnership that we play in our relationships with women that are part of that conversation. And so I was so pleased that there were so many there, and they were fully engaged. Leading up to the event, last point I'll say, leading up to the event, I probably got 40 DM text messages on my Instagram when I started advertising it, and it were probably, most of them were from women saying, can we come? Can I come? Can I, you know, I really think this is long overdue. And so we're going to be stepping up a notch. Commissioner Carl, I got some ideas to get you engaged too on this. And I'm being serious because she has been very open about a lot of this conversation in general. And I think you have a lot of value on so many levels. So I just want to find, we're going to figure that out. But I was just really blown away. I can't stop thinking about it because I just had so many men come up to me and say, thank you. Thank you for just creating this conversation. We did a prep session in my office earlier in the day, and it got heated. You know, we had some, because I wanted to go over the day with folks just to kind of test some questions and things. So I brought in, we had male and female folks, and it got heated and emotional and in a discussion. And I said, this is the authentic type of discussion that we need to create a platform for people to say, you know what, I'm not okay. I need some resources. I need a little bit of help, but I don't have any idea of where to turn and where I can go in a private, in a safe way to do. And so we created that, and I think what we're going to have an opportunity to do is do even more as we dive into the conversation. So you got to speak to them.
Just really quick, I know Commissioner Boyce, it was phenomenal. One of the things I really want to mention is there were young people in the audience, and this is for us in this room and for those who are watching. One of the questions that the young person posed the question was, father-son relationships or relationships with children are so important. How can you assist those of us who do not have a relationship with our father, who would like to get a relationship with our father? And that was one of the things they said that were impacting their mental health. So working with our government, you know, we have a lot of supportive services through children's child support, with mediation and all those things. We're going to work with Commissioner Boyce on how do we cultivate that conversation for young folks to have a better relationship with their parents.
Yeah. So, thank you so much. All right, let's
Well,
dive right into it.
congratulations on a successful event.
You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't me. I'll be honest with you. I wish I could take credit. I really feel like that it was a lot of the men's unit guys, Aaron and David and so many others. I think Joshua was there. Joshua, did I get that right? Yeah, Joshua. Walter was helpful, and he wasn't even in that group, but he stepped in and helped us on some levels. And man, I'm just touched because, you know, everybody has a journey. Everybody, you know, no matter who you are, we all have a journey. And the reality is sometimes we need a little help navigating that journey. And sometimes, you know, we cover it up and we go about our business in our day, but the reality is that sometimes it's like a coach, you know, a coach that tells you, hey, you did this on that play, you did this, but get in there and try this and look at this way. And that can be all the difference. And Suicide rates,
Could be life-saving.
mental health rates have all spiked since COVID, and at a level that we all should be concerned about our neighbor. Man, woman, black, white, doesn't matter. And if we don't start digging into this, the problem is only going to get bigger and deeper and more problematic. And finally, you'll see it in how we have to deliver services for the county. And so there's a cost, there's an economic impact to it that, it's hard to quantify, but it's real. So, but thank you for that.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll dig right in. We don't have any motions for, let me just make sure. Nope, okay. First up is community partnership.
Resolution number 89124, resolution authorizing a community partnership grant with the Center of Science and Industry to provide learning lunchboxes to Franklin County youth in the amount of $670,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Brittany Hilliard, Community Partnership Coordinator. This resolution will authorize an agreement with COSI for $670,000 to support the Learning Lunchbox program. COSI will deliver 15,000 Learning Lunchbox science kits and digital impact throughout Franklin County, alongside critical human service providers for children in early childhood education and grades K through 8. COSI will also provide translation services for its Learning Lunchbox kits to inspire learners of all backgrounds. COSI is partnering with key collaborators locally to inspire youth in STEAM careers. Here to answer any of your questions and say a few words is Stephen White, Chief Strategy Officer. After, we respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, first off, thank you for allowing me to be here today. I have to send a sincere apology from Dr. Bertley, Dr. B. He woke up this morning very ill, very sick. So as an immunologist, he, especially before Thanksgiving, he said, I'm not going to expose everyone here to be sick. So he sends his apologies, and he asked me to have the honor here of saying a few words on behalf of this program that, we just have to thank you. So President Boyce, Commissioner Crowley, Commissioner O'Grady, Administrator Wilson, Deputy Administrators Long and Bivens, I just want to thank you. Several years ago, Commissioner Crowley, you talked a little bit about this idea of opportunity earlier today. You gave us the opportunity. You gave us the opportunity to think differently about how we can serve the public, specifically around the challenge that you issued to the community around the poverty blueprint, and thinking about how we can all work together, nonprofits, for-profit community, to really help address poverty in the county. So we said, how do we, as an institution, COSI, can come and be able to help address that challenge? Well, we have something very unique at our disposal. COSI and President Boyce, you highlighted earlier in your own journey when you talked about the fire truck example. COSI is a little bit unique and different as a different nonprofit in that we help to cosify things. We make it fun, we make it exciting, and you heard it from Mr. Kershaw's story earlier around how we expose people, change the disposition of, wow, STEM is fun, STEM is engaging, this is something I can do. And so how do we cosify that? Well, we bring it outside the four walls of that amazing physical museum we have, and we bring it directly to the people where they live, learn, and lounge. The Learning Lunchbox program is an embodiment of that, where we not only bring it directly to the people, so maybe they can't make it to COSI. You know what? We're going to bring it to them at their doorstep. And the reason we called it a Learning Lunchbox is because initially we partner with our friends at Mid-Ohio and other food banks to say, hey, we're going to deliver these along critical human service elements like food banks, but we're going to expand that to also fulfilling human services. So this program enables us to partner with 40+ other nonprofits across our county that are delivering critical human services. And we know that one of the key ways to uplift somebody out of poverty, well, is to give them great education. And what better way to fuel that education through fun, exciting, hands-on, engaging content? So this Learning Lunchbox, and I brought one with me, by the way. Deputy Administrator Bivens, you talked about earlier, what's in the box? What's in it? Yeah. Well, this kit has over 10 hours of content. This one specifically has 7 different hands-on activities. It's all around American innovation. these resources that you're going to provide, we hope that you provide to COSI, will not only be able to help inspire kids on how to be entrepreneurs, innovators, but also focus on critical areas around aerospace and aviation, advanced manufacturing, where they can do the hands-on content together as a family or together with their nonprofit partners. But in addition to that, they're also going to have that color of science element that you heard earlier from my colleague, Charles, where inside we have the Color of Science Passport, where individuals from right here in our community, they get to have their own passport and say, wow, these folks work right here in our community. Men and women doing incredible things, men and women of color, different backgrounds. We share that to them in their different career pathways. In addition to that, we also expose them to the ecosystem that is COSI. So they get a chance to come to COSI for free, and they get access to our incredible digital content, Emmy award-winning content like this, right, which is our Dr. B in 3 series, where all they have to do is simply open this up, and we deliver powerful animated content. So you can see it, and you'll have a copy of this here.
Oh, that's cool. I love it.
So start seeing science a little differently, right? That's what we try to do. They open that up. Why do we deliver that animated content? Well, we know that in order to meet kids where they are, you got to be different. You got to ignore the box. They're all glued to this, right? So let's meet them where they are. So we deliver science content not only through hands-on, but also through the digital content as well. So that's what these kids do. They open up the door so for families and youth in Franklin County who are, by the way, living in poverty, right? These are going directly out to our nonprofit partners who are serving the community. And we come alongside them to amplify their vision and mission of their organization so they can say, wow, science is everywhere for everyone, but it's also for me as well. Mm-hmm. So again, commissioners, a huge thank you as we get ready for our Thanksgiving holiday. You took a bet on COSI several years ago. This program was at its infancy. And you said, you know what, we believe in you, COSI. And as a result of that, this has now become a national award-winning program, thanks to your partnership and thanks to your leadership. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think so.
Can,
Please, Commissioner Crawley.
yeah, because this is the thing that I love so much about COSI. And I, again, just love my board of commissioners because, as you said, during the pandemic, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners were the first ones to put money behind this. And I was in the legislature at the time and worked with COSI to give out, I think just in my district alone, 1,200 lunch boxes. And then while I was on Finance Committee, excuse me, and Controlling Board, COSI was able to get money from the state to spread this throughout the state of Ohio. And you know, I've worked with other nonprofits passing out lunch boxes with the Children's Hunger Alliance. I know Rickenbacker Woods is looking to be supported and support the youth in over in Driving Park. And this is just a phenomenal program. We're having the lunch boxes go directly into the community. I've seen kids engage with it. I know that you said it's over 10 hours, but usually it's like 5 different projects or 6. You've partnered with so many other organizations to provide kits, and I've heard from teachers, I've heard from parents, and I've heard from students and how much they love these lunch boxes, how it does get them off their phones or from in front of the TV and be able to engage, and then also engage in the classroom now that everybody is back in the classroom. And so I just love that COSI and Dr. B and team continues to be a visionary, continues to push the needle when it comes to STEM and STEAM and engaging our youth from, you know, our littlest ones to even to the adults. So congratulations, and happy to support this resolution as always.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or
You
questions?
know, Stephen, I remember when during the pandemic, when Commissioner Boyce and I and you and Dr. Bertley and all the other volunteers were out there handing out lunch boxes and lunches to the kids and their families as they drove through, socially distanced, wearing masks and the whole 9 yards. And so we've been doing this for a bit, and we appreciate the partnership and all the great work that you guys do at COSI. So thank you.
Thank you. Remember those days well, and because of your support, we've been able to amplify that program even more. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 891-24.
Moved and seconded voting? Oh, sorry.
Seconded.
Sorry.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 891-24 has been adopted.
And if I could just say one last thing, I just want to thank Curtis and Brittany and your entire policy team as well, Administrator Wilson's team as well. You all have done a phenomenal job in supporting us through partnership, time, talent, not just treasure. So thank you so much to the incredible team that you have as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, we're going to skip on the agenda a little bit here, the
We
request
have-
of Commissioner O'Grady.
I think we still have another community partnership one to do.
Yeah, but let's go ahead, let's
Oh,
go ahead and get
okay.
it out of the way.
All
We'll
right.
come
All
back
right.
to it, yeah, because I want to honor your
Good.
question. So we're going to go right to economic development. We'll come back to community partnerships. Just hang tight.
Resolution number 905-24. First Amendment to the COVID-19 Recovery Grant for Mid-Ohio Food Collective to develop the Mid-Ohio Farm at MBC4 in support of the local food system and in alignment with the Columbus and Franklin County Local Food Action Plan in the amount of $402,705.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Walter Dillard, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. Our first resolution considers a First Amendment to the COVID-19 Recovery Grant Agreement adopted by Resolution 0856-23 with the Mid-Ohio Food Collective. The Resolution 1 amends the contract to allow for reallocations of the unspent funds in the amount of $16,922 within the approved budget, and 2 provides $221,435 in additional funding to continue the development and build-out of the Mid-Ohio Farm at MBC4 in support of the local food system and in alignment with the Columbus and Franklin County Local Food Action Plan. With this additional funding, Mid-Ohio Farm and MBC4 will continue to strengthen the local food system in Franklin County and increase access to locally grown food using vertical growing towers, greenhouses, community garden boxes, and food processing and storage capabilities. The total amended contract amount will not exceed $402,705, and the term will be extended until December 31st, 2025. This resolution meets goal number 10 of the Franklin County Rise Together Blueprint. Our community partner, Matt Habish, the president CEO of the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, is here today to share some highlights and outcomes of this initiative. After which, pending any questions, I would respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
President Boyce, Commissioner Crawley, Commissioner O'Grady, Administrator Wilson, Deputy Administrators. It's good to see you again. This seems like a continuation of the entire theme and conversations we've had. I will share one thing. I am an absolute introvert as well. Commissioner Crawley, I clearly don't express myself with my clothing. I leave that to President
work
Boyce.
on that.
President
We can work on
Boyce,
that.
he does wonderful. He taught me well when we were on city council together. This is really about coming together as a community and about what we just talked about, involving kids in education, STEM. Everything we're doing around this farm is really around growing more food, learning better techniques to grow, and teaching those techniques to others. And we've really had an opportunity. You know, the high tunnels we have, you know, they have about 90, they call them Beto boxes, all new to me. Basically, they're these wonderful water boxes that they grow, and all I can tell you is the tomato vines in there are 25 feet long. And they have produced 1,700 pounds of tomatoes in a very short first-time growing season. These dollars will enable us to double that, and to really, we've also planted 90 fruit trees. We got about a 3-year runway. We're doing a lot to protect them from the deer that happen to be in the cemetery right next door, but really around how we can teach and grow and use those techniques to help other urban farms and gardens here in Central Ohio continue to grow. And flourish, and to really use the techniques. But the amazing part of all of this, recently we had an opportunity in Columbus to host the USDA BIPOC Farmers Conference. It was a national conference of black farmers from across the United States. It was held up at the Nationwide Training Center, and along with Chief Crosby from USDA, we co-hosted that, and we hosted part of that at the learning center that we have at our farm on the hilltop. And the most amazing part of that were the kids that came. And it really was around these kids, learning and challenging. We have an amazing administrator of our farm. He happens to be an executive chef by training. He happens to be a teacher at Reynoldsburg High School, teaching kids how to grow food. And if you really want to understand, he'll take you all the way back to the buffalo and teach you how they fertilize the entire middle part of our country. But he really has that connection around education and STEM and wanting to teach kids. And those youngsters from these farms pummeled him. They saw all these new growing techniques, and they're like, how can we do that? And it was this amazing connection to see. Fast forward to the farm on Channel 4, and we did the same thing. There's a whole series of apartments, in the Riverview International Center is right next to the farm at NBC4. And it's unique because it's FCC-controlled land. So we created a way to create a community garden, give a separate entrance. People have their own key code to get in. They have a key code to get into the tool shed. We put a well in there. They have access to water. They have their own beds. And they were growing in 5-gallon buckets in the parking lot and along the fence line. So for them to come in, and they grew things, I don't even know what they were. I mean, they had some green beans that were about this long and some really spiky vegetables and things they grew, but it was their gardens. And the kids all came. We built a play area for the kids so that they had something to do as well. And it really was getting them immersed in how growing and where food comes from and how they could be a part of it. And this is really enabling us to not only do it on this site, but to use it as teaching tools for the rest of them. We partner a lot with the Highland Youth Garden, which is up on the hilltop. So it really is about how we can take these techniques out to the rest of the community and really live through the local food action plan, what you all envisioned when you helped create that. So this is what this is all about. We're really excited about the opportunity to continue to do this work. We're going to double production. That was the key for the additional dollars will enable us to continue to expand what we're doing and a lot of different growing techniques so we can teach people different ways of growing and help them have their gardens flourish across the entire Franklin County. With that, I'll stop and say thank you again for your amazing support. You guys continue. And this is really about connecting. That's what this is. For us, this is really about how, the comments about, agriculture is really STEM education. And they are scientists. When you get them in there and you get them talking to Trevor, they really get an opportunity to learn. And he was challenged because they were pummeling him with really good questions. But one of the important things that came out of this from Chief Crosby, he happens to be from here, if you don't know him. He's the administrator for USDA's Conservation Office in D.C. And he was talking to the farmers and saying, please don't sell your land. There's a lot of effort across the United States to have the second, third generations don't want to keep the land. And he was challenging them to keep the history, of how black farmers got into being farmers, having their own land, owning that land, and how important that was. It was a really strong message that he was given to everybody across that country about please don't sell it, keep that heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, President Habash. O'Grady, you look like you got something to say.
Well, I was just at both of these farms, the Hilltop Farm and the NBC4 farm, and Mr. Dillard went along with. You want to have fun out at the farm? Have Mr. Dillard try one of the chili peppers that's out there, and then watch him dance across the farm. Yeah, that was a good time. Yes, as Administrator Wilson says, the urban dude had some really good questions, a lot of fun questions too. We had a good time. He wanted to pick up all those tomatoes and move those to his backyard. But appreciate all the work that you guys are doing and the way in which you spend the dollars that the county entrusts with your organization, not only at the Food Collective, but here at these farms. Trevor's just a gem, and I hope that you can find a way to keep him for a long, long time. I saw Trevor, by the way, at Mr. Dawson's funeral. Trevor certainly is a fantastic addition to the team and the community. But we were out there at the NBC farm the day that we dedicated. I was out there to see the property before it was anything. It was just it was a mess, actually, is what it was. It was a piece of property that had sat with NBC4 and was unused, and it was completely covered. And then when it got cleared, and we went out there with some of the members of City Council and yourself, and it was hard to imagine it being what it is today. And so I would, and Trevor and his team are doing a fantastic job with it. I would imagine in another year or two what it'll look like. And then the neighborhood that's there and the neighbors and the folks that are benefiting from the vision. So it's exactly what it is that we envisioned when we decided that we wanted to partner. And so it's benefiting the community in the way that we expected that it would, and we appreciate the work that you guys are doing.
Nope.
If you
All right.
mind.
Thank you
no,
so
no,
much.
I was,
Oh,
I was like, may I?
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Crowley.
Real quick, thank you so much for being here. I love this resolution. Thank you, Commissioner O'Grady, for your ongoing leadership in this space and vision. And I would just ask, again, for the students that are in urban roots to come and see what all is possible. I mean, as they're starting to learn how to grow things, to come out and see, you know, string beans as tall as me, or tomatoes, like what's possible. I think that, you know, I think that would be great, and another great partnership to
Absolutely.
have exposure to you and to the collective as well.
It's a big part of our work is really about education in the schools, partnering with the schools. You know, Linda McKinley has a farm on top of the building, you know, really teaching that. I'm real concerned, as you know, average age of a farmer in Ohio is 62. So if you really want to teach young people a great career, a lot of different ways, and if they really want to get into this, we've got great partners to help teach, and we've got a great teacher. So
Yeah.
anything we can do to continue to connect, we will do.
And like I said, it's year round, and so Ohio State is in the schools as well. But it's more than just learning, you know, all things growing food. They also come into community with each other. So these are students who are from different schools, and they will tell you that but for these programs, they would not have met their new best friend, right? And that they're learning together, or they see a different opportunity than maybe in sports or trying to be a doctor or a lawyer. We heard from students this summer who was like, no, I think I want to keep in this field and continue to learn and grow. And so, and parents are involved in it as well, so.
And we have a summer internship program as well, so
Oh, that would be
that's the other
wonderful.
part of this. So-
That would be wonderful.
So we can clearly employ, we like to employ right from the Hilltop neighborhood. I mean, on the one on the Hilltop, we got the same opportunity with all the apartments right by Channel 4. We can hire from the neighborhoods.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Matt, so we have a lot of friends that are county commissioners that are also farmers. And we have, you know, or they are, you know, they have family that are farmers. And so what we learn from a lot of them is that they don't have heirs, they don't have children that then want to take over the farm from them. And so these, as you say, these 62-year-old, average age 62-year-old farmers don't have children who, a next generation that want to then follow in their footsteps and be, and take over the family farm. And so that's, seems to be what is happening all across the state of Ohio and all across the country. They don't want to become ranchers. Our friends that are county commissioners across the country, out west, they don't want, the next generation doesn't want to become ranchers. So it's a problem. It's a big problem all across the United States.
It is, and I think what President Boyd said earlier, it's just about healthy food. You know, at the end of the day, if we really want to continue to enjoy healthy food, we need to figure this out as a country, because it is essential. We're founded as agriculture is the largest industry in the state of Ohio. A lot of it's soybean and corn production, but, you know, but at the end of the day, this is what, you know, we've got to figure this out, or we're going to be eating more and more processed foods, because that's what's going to be available.
Yeah, because we're moving towards agribusiness.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. And by the way, the freezer project, which I think is the longest project I've ever been involved in because of COVID, goes live this week. So we'll have a celebration shortly.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so to make it over. Yeah. All right. Is there a motion?
Oh, shoot. There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 905-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 90524 has been adopted.
Great, thank you. Sorry, Walter, we're going to go back to community partnerships pickup. I just wanted to accommodate Commissioner O'Grady's request. So we'll go back to, I know, I saw you. Nope, get away. All right, community partnerships.
Resolution number 89224, resolution authorizing a one-year agreement with Columbus Public Health to provide treatment and services to individuals with tuberculosis and operate a tuberculosis clinic for residents of Franklin County in the amount of $2,850,000.
Good morning again. This resolution authorizes Franklin County to enter into a one-year grant contract with Columbus Public Health in an amount not to exceed $2,850,000. This includes $2.6 million for services to be provided in 2025 and $250,000 for the reconciliation of the 2024 agreement. Under the terms of the agreement, Columbus Public Health will provide services to decrease, identify, and treat persons who have active tuberculosis, and contact, investigate, locate, and screen persons who have been in close contact with active TB patients to determine if they have TB infection or disease. Columbus Public Health will examine immigrants and refugees to screen high-risk populations to detect persons who are infected with TB and who could benefit from therapy to prevent the infection from progressing to TB disease. Here to answer virtually any of your questions and say a few words is Maureen Murphy-Wise, Director of the Ben Franklin Tuberculosis Program. She should be.
Thank you, Brittany.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I had a problem logging in this morning, so I'm glad that I connected. Thank you so very much, President Boyce and Commissioners. We do appreciate the support that you have given Columbus Public Health over many years, providing tuberculosis prevention and control services to our community. I just wanted to briefly give an update, status report on how we're doing this year for 2024 as comparison to last year. We did have 70 cases of active TB last year in Franklin County. And when we consider that every case of tuberculosis has an average of 12 close contacts, that's a significant number of people that we are evaluating medically. In addition, we do screening for the public school systems here in Franklin County. And this is for children ages school grades K through 12. Most of these children are newly arrived immigrants from countries where TB burden is quite high. And we did screen 914 children this year, year to date. And additionally, we screened 720 individuals that arrived to the United States from countries where they are given special immigrant status to enter the United States. And those individuals are primarily from Ukraine, Haiti, Cuba, and Venezuela. We also receive referrals from CDC, Division of Global Migration and Quarantine, and these are for immigrants that have been awaiting processing to enter the United States. And those individuals we evaluate once they do arrive here. And we evaluated 166 individuals so far this year that are new arrivals. As you can imagine, it's difficult to anticipate the numbers from year to year. And certainly policy at the federal level does impact the number of new arrivals through the immigration process through CDC. We react oftentimes to secondary migrants that arrive in our area from other states. And there's not really a good way to anticipate what those numbers look like. That being said, we have spent a lot of time over the last few years refining our processes and integrating new technologies where we can in an effort to contain costs. And we do recognize that medical costs have gone significantly through the roof over the last few years, and pharmaceuticals have been impacted as well. We have eliminated a position or anticipate to in 2025 with retirement, so through attrition. And we do recruit from the communities we serve. I think in an effort to be efficient, communication is key, particularly in medical care, and using interpreter services can be challenging and cumbersome, can really increase the duration of a medical visit twice the time, sometimes longer. So we do recruit nurses and disease intervention specialists from the communities that we serve. As such, we have staff that speak up to 11 different languages the last time I counted. And these individuals, in many cases, arrived in this country as refugees as well. And that really helps us meet health equity goals that we have set for the program, understanding that we need to understand the culture and the health beliefs of the people we serve to ensure that we provide the care that they need in a way that is meaningful for them. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have for me.
Thanks so much.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 89224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 892-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, coroner.
Resolution 893-24. Resolution authorizing an agreement with Flow Partner LLC, a communications and personnel consulting firm for internal, interpersonal communications and team-building services for the Franklin County Forensic Science Center, Office of the Coroner, in the amount of $48,000.
Good morning, President Boyce, Commissioners, and Administration. Patrick McLean with the Coroner's Office. The Coroner's Office wishes to re-engage with Flow Partner LLC for the purpose of providing consulting services. Flow Partner will provide internal communication strategies designed to facilitate interpersonal communications and manage conflict, team building, and personal and professional development guidance to the Franklin County Coroner's Office leadership team, as well as intensive counseling to 2 key members of our leadership team. This contract is part of a broader personnel management strategy that will stabilize the current staff and position the FCCO for anticipated growth over the coming decade. As all of you know, the FCCO has seen its caseload grow by approximately 80% since 2015, and continued caseload growth is anticipated as Franklin County continues to experience strong population growth. With this level of growth, it is essential that teams within the FCCO are strong and prepared to handle more cases. This contract is also consistent with the FPS operations study of the Coroner's Office, which recommended that our office conduct effective communication and conflict resolution training. This contract is part of a broader effort to increase employee retention rates. Contract is the second of planned 3 engagements between Flow Partner and FCCO. Contract will not exceed $48,000. Happy to take any questions you might have.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 893-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 893-24 has been adopted. Resolution 894-24. Resolution authorizing the acceptance of a sub-grant award contract from Franklin County Public Health Center for Disease Control and Prevention Overdose Data to Action Grant. The related data use agreement and furtherance of the sub-grant award contract, and to authorize the county administrator to sign on behalf of the Franklin County Coroner the sub-grant award contract and data use agreement in the amount of $100,000.
This resolution is to accept the sub-grant award of $100,000, as you just heard, from Franklin County Public Health CDC Overdose to Action Grant. Support collaboration, expand the data analysis, and investigate a capacity for overdoses, and to aid in prevention strategies and outreach activities. Additionally, this resolution is presented to the Board of Commissioners for approval of a data use agreement between Franklin County Public Health and the Franklin County Coroner to allow the exchange of information between Franklin County Coroner's Office and Franklin County Public Health for the purpose of expanding data analysis for overdoses to aid in overdose prevention strategies and outreach activities in furtherance of the award. The award period is from September 1st, 2024 to August 31st, 2025. This will be the 3rd year that we have had this sub-grant. Happy to take any questions and appreciate your support.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 894-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 894-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, okay, next is engineer.
Resolution 895-24. CHA Consulting Incorporated, consulting engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer in performing preliminary engineering for the Wright Road 1.93 over Pickering Creek Improvement Project, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $243,982.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brad Foster, Franklin County Engineer. Commissioners, our first resolution seeks approval of a contract with CHA Consultant Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing preliminary engineering services for the Wright Road over Pickering Creek Improvement Project. CHA is a local engineering firm and was chosen via engineers qualification-based selection process. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 895-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 895-24 has been adopted. Resolution 896-24. Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated, consulting engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer in performing preliminary engineering for the War Road, County Road number 235 at Lockbourne Road, County Road number 13 Improvement Project, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $186,114.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks approval of a contract with Kimberly Horn Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing preliminary engineering services for the Roar Road at Lockbourne Road Improvement Project. Kimberly Horn is a local engineering firm and was chosen via engineering qualifications-based selection process. This project is funded with ODOT TID Jobs and Commerce dollars and seeks to construct a single-lane roundabout at the intersection. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 896-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 896-24 has been adopted. Resolution 897-24, resolution approving a contract modification with Stantec Consulting Services Incorporated for the Alum Creek Drive Widening Improvement Project, an increase of $2,841,735 for a revised contract amount of $4,474,689.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks approval of a contract modification with Stantec Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing detailed design engineering services for the Alum Creek Drive Widening Improvement Project. Stantec is a local engineering firm and was chosen via ODOT's qualifications-based selection process. Stantec performed the preliminary engineering services for this corridor, and the modification authorized Stantec to continue with the detailed engineering design services. The design is federally funded through ODOT's Transportation Review Advisory Council program. The 2.7-mile roadway widening project is located in Madison and Hamilton Townships in southeast Franklin County. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 897-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 897-24 has been adopted. Resolution 898-24, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Engineer to enter into a contract modification with DLZ Ohio Incorporated for Part 2 detailed engineering design services for the Cook Road from Carl Road to Cleveland Avenue Improvement Project in the amount of $94,254.74 for a revised contract amount of $482,316.82.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks approval of a contract modification with DLZ Ohio for detailed design services for the Cook Road from Carl Road to Cleveland Avenue Improvement Project. As a result of the needed additional engineering services as necessary to modify the original agreement to be provided to the amount not to exceed $94,254.74. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 898-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Abstain.
Resolution 898-24 is approved with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention. Resolution 899-24, report first of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting Walnut Street, County Road Number 19 at New Albany Condit Road, SR 605, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $26,448.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks compensation for two property owners abutting the Walnut Street at New Albany Condit Road Roundabout Improvement Project. This is a Franklin County Transportation Improvement District project funded by state dollars. We negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based upon fair market value. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 899-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 899-24 has been adopted. Resolution 900-24, report first of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting Harrisburg-Georgesville Road 2.83 over Big Darby Creek, PLE-CR3-2.83, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $1,000.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks compensation for one property owner abutting the Harrisburg-Georgesville Road over Big Darby Creek Improvement Project. The project is located in southwest Franklin County in Pleasant Township and will rehabilitate the existing bridge. We negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based upon fair market value. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 924.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 924 has been adopted. Resolution 90124, report third of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting Briggs Road, Township Number 1754, and Josephine Avenue, Township Road Number 1752, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $900.
This resolution seeks compensation for 3 property owners abutting the Briggs Road at Josephine Avenue Safe Routes to School Improvement Project. Located in western Franklin County and Franklin Township, this project will improve safety for pedestrians at West Franklin Elementary School, along with Franklin Heights Franklin Heights High School. We have negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based upon appraised fair market value. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 90124.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 90124 has been adopted. Resolution 90224, estates at Albany Acres accepted for public maintenance and shall become part of the Plain Township Road System, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, for this resolution, I'd like to invite Travis Bullock to the podium to present this resolution. Travis is currently participating in Franklin County's Diversity and Inclusion Mentorship Program, and one of his assignments was to present a resolution that he is involved with. Travis is a private development inspector and completes subdivision inspections for newly constructed subdivisions such as New Albany Acres and unincorporated Franklin County. At this time, I'd like to introduce Travis Bullock.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Our next resolution seeks approval of the Estates at Albany Acres subdivision to be accepted as part of the public roads system and the maintenance responsibility turned over to Plain Township. The engineer's office has inspected the streets and determined that they meet all requirements and specifications. This resolution represents the final legislative step and allows the developer to proceed with selling homes. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 90224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 90224 has been adopted. Resolution 90324, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to J&J Schlegel Incorporated for Renner Road Improvement Project, Alton and Darby Creek Road to Spindler Road, in the amount of $4,820,239.45.
Commissioners, our final resolution seeks an award of construction contract to J&J Schlegel for the Renner Road Improvement Project. J&J Schlegel was selected via a competitive bid process with a bid opening on October 29, 2024. The project is located in Norwich Township and seeks to improve Renner Road with the addition of a 2-way left-hand turn lane, drainage upgrades, pedestrian infrastructure. The project will also replace the bridge over Clovergolf Run. The Franklin County Engineers EBE program has been implemented with a goal of 8%. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 90324.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 90324 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sheriff.
Resolution 90424, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations for the return of prisoners.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Kaylee Schaefer, and I am the Finance Manager here at the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. This resolution authorizes the expenses to transport prisoners in July and August as approved by Sheriff Baldwin. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 90424.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 90424 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Economic Development Planning.
Resolution 90624, Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Rachel E. Rubin at 1670 Park Row, Unit K, Columbus, Ohio 43235.
Good
Oh,
morning.
You gonna watch the game on Saturday?
I did.
Are you gonna watch the game this Saturday?
I am.
Did you watch the game on Thursday?
Thursday, yes, I
That
did.
was a good game, wasn't it?
I want to ask your colleagues, were they able to catch that
Catch
game
what?
on Thursday?
Catch what?
The game that was in a northern city,
Cleveland?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Snowy game.
I was
Snowy
there.
game. It was real snowy.
Congratulations on getting 3 wins for the year.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's,
guess we're
that's
twins.
impressive.
Two of
That's
them in the
impressive.
division.
Yeah, 2 in the division.
One
I mean,
against the
I mean,
Steelers.
that's amazing.
That's
One
their
game
Super-
against the Steelers.
That was their Super Bowl. Your
I
Super
see.
Bowl.
Right.
This is about
That's
Miss
about as
Rachel
close as they'll
Rubin.
get to the Super
You
Bowl.
know
I
what?
said, wait, I told my
You know what?
friend.
It was our Super Bowl.
I told my friend.
We won.
I told my
We
friend.
won.
I told my friend. I said, I guess we're twinsies, but more like fraternal twins, since you are 3 and 8, and we're 8 and 3.
who
So
won the game?
Yeah, I mean,
twinsies.
3, yeah, I mean,
Who won the game
Three.
the other night?
This is
Okay.
so.
3 is a powerful number, though. It is.
It is.
It's like
Yeah.
The
2
number
plus
of-
1. You know?
But who?
Completion.
But who won the game the other night?
You know, it's like 3 if you, I mean, think of the 3.
Did you have a good time on Thursday?
Would you rather
I
have
did.
3 things or 8 things?
Wait, you
Well,
went to the
my
game and you
divinity,
froze
I
your toesies
Father,
off.
the Son, and the
And you
Holy
had to leave
Spirit.
early. Did you wear fashionable shoes on Thursday
You
night?
already know they were black and gold and white. Yep.
So
Air
they're
Force Ones.
fashionable. They
There
were
you go.
sensible shoes to wear to the stadium on
I'll
the
show you.
lake.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm just
So,
wondering. All right.
Ms. Rachel Rubin, she received a housing assistance grant on January 29th, 2021, in the amount of $8,000 from Franklin County Board of Commissioners. Ms. Rubin paid off the balance due under the grant via check, and she is respectfully requesting to have the mortgage released. Having met the loan obligations, pending any questions, we are respectfully requesting your approval of this resolution.
Does she have 3 houses or 8 houses? Because I didn't see that in the.
Doesn't really matter.
Neither? Okay, yeah.
She's getting her mortgage released on this
It
house.
doesn't really
I think
matter.
she has
This
2
house.
plus 1.
Matter of fact, I think it happened on Thursday.
She requested this on
Past
Thursday
Thursday.
night.
Yes, Thursday night.
If there are no comments or questions as it relates to this resolution, move for approval of Resolution 90624.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 90624 has been adopted. Resolution 90724. Request for approval of Type 2 petition to annex 85.77 acres more or less from Hamilton Township to the city of Obetz, case number ANX-19-24.
Yes, our third and final resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 85.77 acres, more or less, from Hamilton Township to the city of Obetz. The areas to be annexed as described in the petition includes Franklin County Auditor's Office parcel ID numbers 150-000-031 and 150-000-069, located at 4510 Parsons Avenue. Approximately 54% of the site's perimeter is contiguous to the city of Obetz, and the city has passed an ordinance indicating that services will be provided once the annexation is approved. The petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in Section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
I'm just glad you only had 3 resolutions and not 8.
Not 8, so-
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 90724.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 90724 has been adopted.
We'll see them December 8th. We'll see you on December 8th in Pittsburgh. Let's see if you can pull it off again.
Well,
Jobs and Family Services.
Resolution 90824. Resolution approving a COVID-19 grant, recovery grant amendment with Future Ready 5 for the Franklin County RISE initiative supporting Franklin County families and child care providers in the amount of $29,500,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Carmen Barnes, Assistant Director, Job and Family Services. The Franklin County RISE initiative initially launched in March of 2022 when you all made an unprecedented investment, committing close to $23 million to support incentive awards for child care providers, housing support for child care educators, and affordability scholarships for working families. This initiative was in response to the COVID pandemic. However, the state of Ohio continues to have the lowest income eligibility limits for subsidized child care in the nation.
LeBron James choosing to step off of social media, and I was hesitant.
I don't know what that came from.
Sure you didn't.
Okay.
The worst part is he couldn't get it off. He was like, oh my gosh.
I'm entitled to one this year, and I've used it up. I don't know, as county administrator, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So I will hand this over to Early Learning Policy Administrator Patrick Gamble to speak a bit more about the initiative.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. Over these next 2 years, we will once again partner with Future Ready 5, who will, with the support of Action for Children, manage the application process and the issuance of incentive awards. We will continue to offer affordability scholarships up to $9,000 while implementing a sliding scale this year to help us support more working families. We will also continue to offer incentives to child care providers through innovation grants to help improve quality. And finally, we will continue to offer emergency rental assistance to support early learning educators. Over the new award period, Future Ready 5 will be offering kindergarten readiness classes to parents, child care providers, as well as technical assistance to help providers improve their quality ratings. And our affordability scholarship portal will open today, and families can learn more and begin the application process by visiting rise.franklincountyohio.gov. Again, that is rise.franklincountyohio.gov. The portal for the innovation grant applications and the emergency rental assistance fund will reopen in the coming weeks, and details will be provided moving forward. Carmen?
So just to celebrate just a little bit, the RISE Initiative awarded over 2,000 child care scholarships, supporting over 650 Franklin County families over the past year, and more than 237 initiatives were awarded to child care programs to aid recovery from the pandemic and help providers navigate changes through Step Up to Quality. This particular amendment allocates an additional $18 million in ARPA funds over the next 2 years, extending the expiration date through November 30th of 2026. So this investment brings your total commitment to the Franklin County RISE initiative to over $40 million. Okay. Future Ready 5 CEO Mario Basoro is here if you have any questions of him.
Yeah, please, Commissioner Crowley.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, PJ, for being here. Thank you, Mario, as well. And thank you for the partnership. I also want to say thank you to the partnership to Action for Children and their ongoing work in RISE Child Care Initiative. As we saw, as we know here at the board, but as we saw even in the national discourse in our last election, child care and access to child care, high quality, affordable child care continues to be an issue for working families each and every day. And even though the RISE Child Care Initiative provided over 2,000 scholarships and supported 650 families, more than 650 families, we know that the need is still great. Can you talk a little bit about, and just briefly, like the wait list, the continued need, and then how are we providing or getting children ready for kindergarten?
Absolutely. Thank you. First of all, good morning to all the commissioners and the great administrative team here as well. My name is Mario Basora. I am the CEO of Future Ready 5, and I appreciate being here today to speak with all of you. So I want to say that right away, the $5 million in scholarships were awarded within 2 months. Within actually 6 weeks, we had all scholarships already awarded and set. And from there, the list just grew exponentially for the next 11 months. And so hundreds of families, probably thousands of families within this community ultimately didn't get scholarships that needed it over time. I will also say that all of the incentive dollars that that you graciously awarded have been awarded to families, to child care centers and providers throughout the region, and all of those dollars that you gave us to steward, we have awarded out as such. I do want to kind of, to your point, Commissioner Carley, just share a story briefly. So your support cannot be understated. Last week, we were giving
books away to some of the centers we work with as part of our Giving Tuesday efforts. And so we went and met with center leaders and wrapped up these books and bows and wrapping paper and gave them to them, and they were really happy to see us and to see that receive the gifts. We asked one of the center leaders about what else she needs and how we can support her. She then told us about how she wakes up most mornings trying to decide whether to buy donuts and coffee for her teachers or go to the store and buy diapers and formula for the children. I share that because the voice and experience of early learning teachers and providers needs to be elevated. The context and gravity of the challenge needs to be expressed. And so I just want to say thank you for all of you, because you guys have been the leaders in the county in doing something about this challenge that we face in early learning. And I want to understate that this county, these commissioners, are the leaders in supporting this effort throughout our county, and we greatly appreciate that support.
Thank you. And I guess if there are no additional comments or questions, I want to say when it comes to kindergarten readiness, we know where our children are only about 40% total are ready for kindergarten, and I know we're doubling down on efforts through RISE to make sure our children are assessed, that they are linked, especially those who may have been screened and identified as having some delays. They will be linked, families will be linked with resources. So we are actively continuing to work on kindergarten readiness. So if there's nothing else,
Thank you so much, Mario. Thank you, commissioners. Just really quick, I know Commissioner Crawley has touched on a lot of this, but I want to make sure also that we lift up, just for those who are watching, the child care industry is generationally underfunded across this nation. And without these investments by these commissioners, a lot of folks would not be able to go to work every day. So as our business folks, small business owners are listening to this opportunity, please make sure that you go to that website to not just access this, but look at within your own organization as a business leader or owner. How can you assist the folks who have children so they can drop their child off in a safe learning environment, but one that is quality as well, so that they are ready for kindergarten? Thank you, Commissioner. This is not just a child care issue, this is a workforce issue, as the commissioners have always said.
there are no additional comments or questions. Move for approval, Resolution 90824.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 90824 has been adopted. Resolution 90924, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the City Year Columbus for youth educational support programming in the amount of $89,600.
City Year provides students with individualized support and interventions that help youth get on track or stay on track. The ambassadors of their program are trained to provide educational support and mentoring services during the school day. With this award, City Year will continue to provide programs at 8 schools across the county, and they plan to serve over 480 youth in the targeted schools during this new award period. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 90924.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 90924 has been adopted. Resolution 91024, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Godman Guild Association for workforce training services offered through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Employment and Training Program in the amount of $900,000.
The SNAP Employment and Training Program helps SNAP participants gain skills and is designed to meet them where they are by opening doors to new opportunities and career options. The intent, recently, the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services redesigned this program. The intent of the redesign is to meet local employer needs by better helping more residents access job training, pursue their career goals. Godman Guild Association is our partner to provide workforce services for FCDJFS. Their Project Connect program offers individualized career assessments, job readiness training, employment barrier services, and helps find on-the-job training opportunities and community work experience site. So during this award period, Godman Guild will serve an estimated 1,500 SNAP ENT participants that are referred by our agency. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91024.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91024 has been adopted. Resolution 91124, resolution approving contracts with the Deaf Services Center Incorporated and Hands-On Central Ohio for Title XX Social Services in the amount of $355,000.
Title 20 provides funding to counties for local service programs that preserve families, and the funds helping to strengthen and improve participant abilities to be self-supportive and independent. So Deaf Services Center will provide case management, interpretation, and sign language services for low-income residents throughout Franklin County who are deaf or hearing impaired. They are anticipating serving about 120 Franklin County residents. Hands-On Central Ohio provides information and resource referral services to residents through the Lutheran Social Services 211 system. Their system is available 24 hours a day, and under this agreement, they anticipate serving over 120,000 residents. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91124.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91124 has been adopted. Resolution 91224, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Image Character Etiquette Incorporated for youth mentoring programming and services in the amount of $342,256.65.
Image Character and Etiquette, also known as ICE, offers mentoring programs for youth ages 12 through 18 that are referred to the agency by our Family Stabilization Unit. ICE offers 2 separate mentoring programs, one for boys, one for girls, and the program activities are offered virtually as well as in person and place emphasis on character development, social connections, healthy lifestyles, self-advocacy, and exposure to professional mentors. With this new agreement, ICE will continue to provide mentoring services and youth development to no less than 70 youth referred by FSU. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91224 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Public Facilities Management.
Resolution 91324, resolution authorizing a supplemental contract with Otis Elevator Company for elevator maintenance services in the amount of $591,782.52.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Alexander, COO, Public Facilities Management. Public Facilities Management is responsible for the facility property needs of various agencies and offices of Franklin County. This resolution authorizes a 1-year supplemental contract with Otis Elevator Company and contains 5 optional 1-year extension terms to provide elevator maintenance services to support Franklin County facilities. This contract includes a firm fixed price, and Otis Elevator Company offers the required services under Omnia Partners. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully request your approval of this supplemental contract with Otis Elevator Company.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91324.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91324 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Purchasing.
Resolution 91424, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,884,295.76.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Andrina Austin, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This resolution, Commissioners request your approval of 64 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding, and Andrina has the SCBE data this morning.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. 8 of the purchase orders being presented are being awarded to small and emerging businesses totaling $591,005.50. These awards are distributed as follows: 10% to women-owned businesses and 1 to minority-owned businesses. Once approved, 4 agencies will provide equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week, and these agencies are the Court of Common Pleas, the Data Center, Job and Family Services, and the Sheriff's Department. Year-to-date, Franklin County Board of Commissioner agencies have awarded 525 purchase orders to small and emerging businesses totaling $22,928,818.03. And pending any of your concerns, we respectfully request your approvals.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91424.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91424 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 91524, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $775.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 3 purchase orders. The county auditor has pre-certified available funding, and pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91524.
Oh, I'm sorry. If there are no comments or questions, I'll move.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Abstain.
Resolution 91524 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention. Resolution 88924, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $14,177.66.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 7 purchase orders. The county auditor has pre-certified available funding, and pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 88924.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Abstain.
Resolution 88924 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners.
Resolution 91624, resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute real property agreements and related documents that include land use agreements, right of entry, site access, estoppel certificates, easement approvals, land use restrictions, and similar agreements and instruments that have been approved to form by the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office.
Is it still morning? Good morning, Commissioners. Janine Hummer, First Assistant and Chief Counsel for the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office on behalf of G. Gary Tyak, Prosecuting Attorney. The first resolution is an update to Resolution 15224 to update this particular resolution to include various land use agreements. Particular to this resolution, it excludes any resolution that would involve a purchase of property or a lien release that would require Board of Commissioner approval. Each one of these items or documents are such that do not have monetary considerations and would require approval to form for each one. There are reporting requirements, and we continue to have an expiration date. Also, based on a conversation I had with Commissioner Boyce, this resolution includes added language that this is only pertaining to the current county administrator. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91624.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91624 has been adopted. Resolution 91724, resolution authorizing the county administrator to perform certain administrative functions.
Commissioners, this resolution is merely updating a previous resolution that was approved by the Board of Commissioners. We have updated the monetary amount related to training contracts involving HR-related matters. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91724.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91724 has been adopted. Resolution 91824, resolution authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute certain modifications to existing and future agreements that do not involve an increase in cost and are not substantially inconsistent with the resolution authorizing the original agreement.
Commissioners, this resolution, once again, is merely updating a previously approved resolution that had an expiration date. We have updated the expiration date to that, added the additional Commissioner Boyce language to it as well, and we'd ask for your approval pending any questions.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91824.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91824 has been adopted. Resolution 91924, resolution authorizing policies and procedures for the approval of certain subscriptions, including software licenses and leases of equipment.
Commissioners, again, this is an update to the previously approved resolution that included an expiration date. This resolution has updated that expiration date to 2025, as well as continued the requirements of notification that is required for these resolutions. Each one does require an approval to form, and we have included the necessary language you requested by Commissioner Boyce. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 91924.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 91924 has been adopted. Resolution 92024, resolution authorizing the county administrator to approve the settlement of certain legal claims in the amount of $35,000 or less, and to take all actions necessary to effectuate those settlements as originally granted under and subject to the same terms and limitations as described in resolution numbers 031921, 31322, 3024, and further defined by this resolution through January 13th, 2026.
Commissioners, this resolution is an update to the previously approved resolution. We have added the Commissioner Boyce language again to this resolution. Also, I want to remind you that this resolution includes a 10-day notification prior to any agreement being approved by the county administrator, and further excludes any civil rights violation that could be subject to this resolution. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 92024.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 92024 has been adopted. Resolution 92124, resolution authorizing appropriation adjustments for the county's wellness incentive program, termination payouts, and to offset budgeted vacancy reductions.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Tlerk with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution is the annual resolution submitted by OMB to ensure that agencies are able to meet their year-end payroll obligations. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
No comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 92124.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 92124 has been adopted. Resolution 92224, resolution authorizing the agreements between Franklin County and the Public Safety Answering Points for the disbursement of wireless 911 government assistance funds.
Commissioners, these agreements are funded by the 40-cent per month Next Generation 911 access fee imposed by the state pursuant to Section 128.41 of the revised code. The funds will be distributed to the City of Columbus, City of Dublin, City of Grove City, City of Westerville, and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 92224.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Resolution 92224 has been adopted. Resolution 92324, resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding with the Franklin County Family and Children First Council, Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Franklin County Juvenile Court, Franklin County Children's Services, Columbus City Schools, Franklin County Adam H. Board, Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services, Educational Services Center of Central Ohio, the United Way of Central Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kevin Pangrace, Director of Government Affairs. This resolution authorizes the MOU between the Board of Commissioners and partners setting forth the statutory obligations and responsibilities of the Franklin County Family and Children's First Council. I do have Veronica Brady, Executive Director of the Family and Children's First Council, to answer any questions if you have them. If not, I request your approval. Thank you.
There are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 92324.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes. He said yes.
I say yes, yeah, yes on all of them.
All right. Resolution 923-24 has been adopted. Resolution 924-24, resolution appointing Thomas F. Hayes to the Franklin County Public Defender Commission.
Good morning, Commissioners. County Administration, Melissa Kohler, Assistant Director of Community Appointments. We have two resolutions. The first one will appoint Thomas Hayes to the Franklin County Public Defender Commission to a term ending November 26, 2028. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval, Resolution 924-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 924-24 has been adopted. Resolution 925-24, resolution reappointing John Neal Lindsay to the Franklin County Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Services Board.
The last resolution will reappoint John Neal Lindsay, a member in good standing, to the Franklin County Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Services Board to a term ending on June 30th, 2028. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval, Resolution 925-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 925-24 has been adopted. Resolution 926-24, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session for the purpose of considering information related to economic development assistance and personnel matters.
Oh, this is, I always get this one. I always do. So, move to convene into executive session to consider confidential information related to the marketing plan, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, or to negotiate with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, provided that the following conditions apply. The information is directly related to a request for economic development assistance that is to be provided or administered under any provision of Chapter 715, 725, 1724, or 1728, or Section 701.07, 3735.67, to 3735.70, 5709.40 to 5709.43, 5709.61 to 5709.69, 5709.73 to 5709.75, or 5709.77 to 5709.81 of the revised code, or that involves public infrastructure improvements or the extension of utility services that are directly related to an economic development project. Further, that the executive session is necessary to protect the interests of the applicant or the possible investment or expenditure of public funds to be made in connection with the economic development project. In addition, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Thank you. We are now in executive session.
And Commissioners, as
Sure,
noticed
sure.
in the weekly agenda, the executive session will take place on the 26th floor in the briefing room. We did notice that up, and you will be able to vote to come out of executive session on the 26th floor.